speaking of what goes around comes around, you know, there's probably the two most famous brothers in the world these days. You get the Tate brothers.
Yeah.
And you get the Paul brothers. Mm-hmm. And there's been some beef, some words exchanged.
Yeah.
No love lost. I don't know. Certain people have said certain things about one another. Let's just say you're in a bar, you know, there's no cameras, there's no judges, there's no rules. Tate brothers walk in the bar, Paul brothers walk in the bar. Who walks out?
Me and my brother. Every single time. But I understand that this question is phrased to hype the beef between us and the Paul brothers. I actually want to put one thing straight. I have no beef with the Paul brothers. And I don't even think my brother does either. I will go as far as to say I really like Jake Paul. Me and my brother are bigger than the Paul brothers, more fight experience than the Paul brothers. I've taken more punches than the Paul brothers. Wrestling, grappling, me and Andrew have judo experience. Who would win the fight? I feel like that's a juvenile question to ask, because if I saw Jake Paul, I'd buy him a drink. I like Jake. Logan, not so much. But Jake is a hardworking young man who has put it all on the line and gets in the ring against people vastly more experienced than themselves in combat sports. He fought Tommy Fury, who was a vastly more experienced boxer. And I don't feel there's any beef between me and the Paul brothers. I sat down and had drinks with Jake. I would go as far as to say I like Jake. I don't like their relationship as brothers. If I could criticize anything about them, there are clips when Jake's like, oh, I want to be the world champion of boxing. And Logan's like, yeah, good luck. Yeah, as if. I don't feel that's a good way for brothers to behave, but more of that comes from Logan to Jake. There is no beef.
Well, there was beef between your brother, Andrew, and Logan. There was actually
there's
words
beef.
exchanged.
They probably hate each other now. But it doesn't matter. I remember a year ago, Logan Paul saying, oh, Andrew's the big fish now, but we'll see in a year where he is. And now no one cares who Logan Paul is. Mm-hmm. So, no one who doesn't drink his cheap, sugary energy drink really cares who he is. I think in 5 years, no one's going to know who he is, but Andrew's still going to be relevant.
Wow.
So, but I think that's how the victory is going to be won. But I don't think about the Paul brothers. Gotcha. I haven't thought about them in a long time. But I have spoken to Jake since getting out of jail. And I will say right now, I like Jake. And I like Logan for one thing and one thing only. Logan brought back, with that loser KSI, this old notion of, okay, we've got beef. Well, instead of rapping about each other or, talking shit on Twitch streams, let's handle it like men. And that's how I grew up. I grew up in a very bad part of town. And, I've had 40-something professional fights myself. That's how beef was settled between men. Nowadays, everyone wants to stab each other or just talk shit and not actually back it up. Logan and KSI brought back the tradition of, I challenge you to a duel. So I feel like Logan has given something great to the world, even though I may personally dislike him a little bit. And Jake, I have nothing bad to say about. So I know that's a boring answer.
No, it's all good.
I respect Jake a
lot. Well, in the last interview we did, your brother called out Logan pretty hard. And then the last time we saw your brother out in public, there was a face-off between him and Jake.
Him and Jake.
Correct.
Yeah, because there was talks of a fight at the time.
Gotcha.
I think certainly any plans to join in on the YouTube boxing community were thwarted by our arrest and our imprisonment. But I also feel right now, and I'll say it unapologetically to anybody involved in that industry, YouTube boxing's dying. It was fun for a while. It was a spectacle for a while.
You think it is? You think it's dying?
I think it's dying. I think people want to see Jake versus KSI. Jake will kill him, by the way. And after that, no one really cares anymore.